make sure we're straight. Do you have your picture?
Yep.
All right, where are you looking? Put your hands out to where you're looking.
These corners.
Both hands.
Yep. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, so you're looking at like 9 and 3. You should be looking, it's hard to see, but that arc of the prop tips.
Okay.
You're looking through that at the edges of the runway.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
It's like your eyes are split out there.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. It's a little windy, so we're going to relax the stick a little bit sooner than regular.
Okay.
But hold back for now.
Okay.
All right. Little wind correction, maybe right there is good.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Alrighty.
Let's track. A little faster on the power now. We're tracking. Power up. That's good. Stick forward a little. Okay. Good. Perfect. And we're looking for 55, so just relax the forward pressure a little.
Okay.
Just relax. I feel like you're gripping the stick.
Okay.
So just relax, like a helicopter.
Okay.
Perfect. That's the way you want it to feel.
Cool.
Just like, all you have to do is just like a helicopter.
Cool.
Alright, pedal pulls the stick, gentle turn to the right. Okay. A little more rudder in there.
Yep.
Perfect. Excellent. Here's your crosswind. Oh, okay.
We're going to stay in the pattern?
We're going to stay in the pattern, yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Whoop. Little gust there. Let's bring it over to our downwind. And you can reduce the power to about 2,300 RPM. Bring it back. It takes a while for it to come back, so you can pull it out a little bit more.
Okay.
Perfect. Alright, it's a little windy, right? We're getting pushed towards the runway.
Yep.
Let's just correct for that. A little rudder, a little stick. Carb heat comes on.
Coming on.
Excellent. Now power to 15. Good. We're a little high, so let's turn our base leg. Pedal pulls the stick gently. No, don't dive, so your RPMs are going to creep up a little. Perfect. Let's round out our base to final.
Okay.
We're going to keep some power in because it's windy. Let's get that final turn going.
Yep.
Good. All right. Now as we come down, your eyes are going to kind of go to the side. You're going to split your vision. At 15 feet, level off, start your flare. And then gently, gently pull back to land. Think like you're flying a helicopter. I'm going to take your power out. Just gently stop the descent. There you go. Slowly let it go. Forward, forward, forward. Okay, not too bad. Alright, carb heat off.
I'm still learning the sensitivity of that throttle coming back in.
Oh, that'll come. I mean, this is your, second flight?
Yep.
Alright, let's make a turn here.
We got that car to the right. Keep an eye on that.
He's on the taxiway. We're good. Alright. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Now, I feel you on the stick, so let's make that wind correction.
Okay.
A little slower now with the throttle.
Okay.
There's no rush. So let's practice tracking here, right?
Okay.
So what I want you to do is pick out the edge of either side that you want.
Uh-huh.
The just pick one edge, and you're going to try and maintain like an angle and a distance. You see where that like triangle is of the runway?
Yep.
So you're just going to slowly just track with your feet and try to stay in the middle of the runway by only looking at one side.
Cool.
Alright? I know this is a little different, but this is what's going to help you track straight on your landings and takeoffs.
Okay, cool.
Small corrections. Perfect. Perfect. I can feel that you're anticipating the turn a little bit. With small corrections, that's exactly what you need to be doing, which is great. Perfect. And you really don't have to taxi faster than this at all.
Cool.
So like this is totally great. So let's taxi up to the runway. I don't see any traffic.
Okay.
Let's kind of cut it a little bit more. Okay, and then go straight. Let's just use as much runway as we can. Here it's okay because we're at sea level, but where I live, I'm at 4,000 feet.
Oh, wow.
So it's always good to make that a habit.
Cool.
All right. Are we straight?
Yes.
Alrighty. Do you have your picture?
Yes.
Do we know where the wind is coming from?
Wind is coming from the northeast, I believe.
Yeah, it's kind of coming from everywhere here, right? Because I'm looking at the water. It's like straight down the runway. The windsock is all over the place.
Yeah.
We got these birds, so I see one kind of going this way. They're kind of drifting this way, so as we get up, we may need to correct a little bit more.
Okay.
Just take take all your information that you can.
Cool.
Alright, we're going to come up smoothly but swiftly on the power.
Okay.
Stick back.
Okay.
Let's go. Track straight. Look at that picture. Alright, perfect. Great. Nice takeoff. And you're gonna get some gusts. Just fix that with a little rudder and a little fling.
Okay.
Perfect. When it's really gusty like this, it's kind of like a soft field takeoff. You know, you're gonna get lifted up early. You just keep that nose at that right speed, build your speed.
Right.
Let's make our crosswind turn. Pedal pulls the stick, gently turn. Nice. Here, keep it coming. And let's turn our downwind. Pedal pulls the stick. A little bit steeper here. And let's start taking our power back to 22, 23. Perfect. And what comes on? Carb heat. Carb heat first, then power reduction.
Okay.
Alright. Let's imagine our glide path coming down.
Okay.
Keep it at 15 because it's gusty. Let's turn our base. Alright, let's keep it coming because we're a little far out.
Okay.
Don't dive. We got power, so we don't need to do anything crazy. There you go. Perfect. This is a good angle right here. can see where you're coming in. You have a good idea of your height. You're looking for that 15 feet to level off. And then you're going to let it descend and smoothly pull back. So let's take our power out gently. That's about 15 feet there. Hold off. Slowly let it come down. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Good. And track. Just let it roll and track.
Cool.
Nicely done. Good tracking. I noticed on your takeoff, let's just get off here. You had a little bit of like a happy feet thing going.
Okay.
It's not really necessary to do that.
Okay.
If it's going straight, you know, small corrections rather than making unnecessary corrections.
Right.
Like, because a lot of people, and I did it too, like, you have this tendency to be like, okay, I'm going straight by doing this.
Yeah.
Right? But you don't need to do that to go straight. It'll go straight, and then if something goes wrong, then you do boop.
Okay, cool.
Boop, boop, boop.
That makes sense.
You know, like, you maybe only need like 5 of those on your takeoff.
Okay, not 100.
And you don't have to go like this. And that way your brain is free to do other things.
Okay, cool. Like worry about the drift.
Yeah, like you'll just notice more automatically without even thinking about it. So you can actually use this line right here to kind of line you up.
Okay, cool.
Or you can do your fishtail. But let's practice, you know, let's look at our picture. Let's practice just tracking straight. I'm going to give you a little scotch of power.
Okay.
And I want you to just track. Nice. You got it. And it's really just about keeping that picture. Alright. Nice. Alright, let's take us to the runway.
Okay, final's clear.
How you feeling?
Great.
Are you kind of getting that landing like 15 feet, then you start that sink? It's not really a sink, but it feels like a sink. Just stop here for a second.
Okay.
So when you're coming in, don't bring it back too much.
Okay.
That's good. And hold the brakes. So you just want to really, at that 15 feet is just like, that's when you pause and you're like, okay, I'm over the runway. Like, it's all cool, and the plane is going to start to settle a little bit. As it starts to settle, you're going to just, like, it's like very gently, just boop, slowly back, and it's just going to be like this.
Cool.
And it'll be perfect.
Sweet.
And the last one was really great.
Cool.
And then it's all about tracking. So it's just getting the feel for it. Do you have any questions?
Nope, not right now.
Alright. Do you have your picture?
Yes.
Put your hands out. Excellent. Keep that picture. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's not pull up so aggressively.
Okay.
You really don't have to pull so much, it'll just go up.
Okay.
We'll correct for that. Full rudder. Perfect. This is a good climb out right here. Remember that helicopter helicopter grip.
Yep.
Okay, let's turn our crosswind. Good. And let's turn downwind. And as we do that, we'll reduce our power a little. Good. Bring it over a little bit more. Perfect. Let's reduce that power. And we're going to be speeding down the downwind.
Okay.
Excellent. Alright, just correct for it, you know.
Yep.
If it flops us over, just give it a little edge. And what happens to our power and our carb heat?
Carb heat before the power.
Good job.
Okay.
And what about our power?
It's gonna come down to 15.
Perfect. Let's turn our base.
Okay.
Let's not dive.
Okay.
Good coordination. And let's start our final because we have some wind. Good. This is looking good. Scooch over to the right, perfect, you're doing it. And let's slowly reduce our power. Alright, that's 15 feet. Brake or glide, brake, brake, brake. Just follow with me here, okay?
Okay.
So what happened there? We kind of ran out of, we leveled off a little bit too far out.
And just dropped through it.
And then we dropped through it because we kind of got behind the power. So let's head back, do another one. Perfect. So basically, as we came down, I think because we were kind of close to the edge of the runway, you were like, oh, runway's here already. And then it was like, you know, like a tricycle gear airplane.
Right.
So don't worry about the threshold of the runway. Like, we can land halfway down and we'll still be fine. Good tracking. So sometimes I think the edge of the runway kind of messes up our whole thing. It's really just about the feel.
Okay.
And on our takeoffs, I think you're gripping the stick a little bit.
Okay.
Just helicopter grip. That's all you need. If the plane gets tossed around a little bit by the wind, that's what happens, right? In the helicopter, if it gets really crazy windy, you're not like
over controlling it, like trying to fight it, yeah.
I mean, I've flown the helicopter. It's like you think, you just grip it like 2 fingers, you think, and it goes.
Yeah.
So it's the same deal.
Cool.
All right, no traffic.
Okay.
Let's go out onto the runway.
You got carb heat off?
Carb heat is off. So on your takeoff this time, I'd like you to be much smoother. So not only like with the stick, but with the power. So power is going to be like 1, 2, 3, and like almost 4 counts because we have to go a little bit faster because of the wind.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll just kind of wallow, you know?
Right.
And with that stick, like I said, it's kind of like a soft field takeoff because of the wind right now. But rather than be like up and then push forward, just pull, stick back a little, and then if you feel like we're kind of getting a little slow, just release your back pressure. You don't have to pull back or push forward, really.
Okay.
It's all about pressure.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Alrighty.
Stick back first to start. Good tracking. Perfect. Nice. And we got 50, we're good. Let's climb out, 55. Much better takeoff.
Cool.
Let's start our crosswind turn. Back with that power. Power, power, power. We're a little tight, but we're okay.
Carb heat.
Perfect. Power. 15. Good. Here's probably a good idea.
Okay.
It's windy, we want a steeper approach. Good base. And now you can almost imagine that angle, right?
Yep.
Of where we're at. Scooch out the power. Scooch it. Another scooch. Oops. Here. My plane?
Yep, you got plane.
Alright, now your plane.
Okay.
What you're gonna do is take out the power, break that glide, break the glide just like this. Wait. So we didn't really have a flare there, right? It was kind of like we broke it and then we were on the ground.
Okay.
So basically our power, we did get a little bit of a gust there, but you can feel, just turn the carb heat off.
Yeah. Pretty tough.
You can feel that when the plane, it's kind of settled there,
yeah.
And then it was just like down because we held it there a little bit too long.
Okay.
Right? So we were like breaking the glide and then we didn't do anything. There was a gust. So then it was like, boom.
Right.
So it's really about finessing that 15 feet. That's when you're level. And then you're just going to kind of come slowly back. And we probably could have kept power maybe a little bit longer and landed longer down. So let's try that next time.
Okay, cool.
And I have a feeling that because of this opening here, there's like some, in the water, there's some strange wind stuff happening. So we'll just do that again.
Okay.
But you're getting the feeling of it.
Cool.
Have you flown gliders at all?
No.
Okay. The sink rate of this airplane is very similar to flying a glider. Alright, nobody's coming. Stick back to start.
Okay.
Let's go.
Alright.
Smooth, gentle.
Carburetor's coming on?
A little early, but you can.
Okay.
The sequence is important, right? I usually do the beam numbers.
A beam.
But this is a tiny runway, so. Let's turn our base.
Okay.
Bring the power back. Let's round out to our final.
Okay.
Let's bring our power back more. Let's bring our power all the way back. Don't dive.
Coming back in a little.
Perfect. Okay. Now let's bring it down. Let's look at your picture. Don't have to land at the end of the runway.
Okay.
I'm gonna come in with power. See that 15 feet?
Yep.
Alright. Let me do it. See how the power and like how I just kind of gently bring it back?
Yep.
So that one kind of hung, but I think that was actually kind of good for you to see exactly where we need to be to level up. You have a tendency to want to land when we see the runway. Don't have to. If we have to add power and like go another 100 feet down the runway.
Cool.
You know, we're in a tailwheel. It's not an issue. Here, let me help you.
Yep. You just release the back pressure a little bit? Okay. Just makes that tail lighter, huh?
Yeah. So let's track. I'm going to give you a little boost of power here.
Okay.
Not a lot because it's windy. This is good. Now track. And now is definitely your best takeoff.
Cool.
You weren't crazy on the rudders. Light on the controls. You know, we didn't have that motion where we kind of went whoop and then forward.
Right. Okay, final clear.
Excellent.
Carby's off.
Yep. You got this. Are you feeling better? Are you noticing more
totally.
things?
I think just you know, that feeling of coming up short on that runway. Maybe we just start our, you know, I don't know if because of the wind, if we start our base closer in or.
You know, it really doesn't matter where you start your base as long as you have something to land on in front of it.
Right. Unless you
in front of your final.
You just have to adjust your power accordingly.
And the wind, you know, the wind is not making things easy to like be consistent. So.
Right.
You know, we'll just do it again. The important thing for you to feel is that 15 feet is when you should be like level.
Okay.
So, and then you're gonna bring out slow. It should be like this, right? We're landing, we're about here. 15 feet, we're like here. Give it a second, then we're like slowly bringing it back.
Okay.
It should be like,
cool.
Like that speed almost.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, sticks back.
Basically, it relates to the sink. So if your airplane's sinking faster, you might need to bring it back faster.
Okay.
If you're kind of sinking slower and you have some power in, slower pull.
Okay, cool. Makes sense.
And your brain will do that once you've like, it starts noticing. Your brain will do that automatically.
Cool.
So no need to overthink it.
Okay.
It'll just happen. Let's go.
Alrighty.
Nice.
Kind of using these power line trail as the cross line. Is that not too bad? Okay.
I loved that takeoff. I loved your corrections. It was perfect.
Cool.
That was good. Back on the power. Good correction.
Okay, Carby's coming on. Well.
That's okay. Bring it back a little more. There you go. This angle looks good. Scooch out the power just to maybe 12 or 13. Scooch out the power to 10. Love it. hold it, level, level, level. Slowly come back, slowly come back, slowly, 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 slowly. So nice. See how that worked out?
Totally.
So it's all about like baby steps. But you're not really doing, try go out at an angle. That'll help you get over.
Okay, yeah, just like
There you go, perfect. That was like beautiful.
Cool.
Loved it.
Yeah, it felt good, huh?
Let's try and do one more like that.
Okay. Yeah, I really focused on my sight picture. Makes a world of difference.
Yeah.
You just trust your sight picture.
Trusting is like the key word there. So, you know, one of the biggest things about flying tailwheel is that you have to get a lot of this information subconscious, because it happens better when you can just like trust your instincts. So you give your instincts the skills and the tools and the information that you need to make a good landing, and then you like put it into your subconscious. And then it's instinct. Then it becomes instinct and it's feel. Because if you're like, okay, like that sign is 15 feet and that's where I level, and then I do this, and then I do this. You're not, it's not gonna happen. It's just not, you might be lucky and it'll happen like a couple times, but for the most part, that's not gonna help you out. Awesome, let's go.
Cool. Final clear?
Final is clear.
Heart rate is off. Alrighty.
Alright.
Stick back.
Stick back to start and smooth.
Cool.
Nice helicopter takeoff. Don't over control, small corrections. It'll get there.
Cool.
Nice coordinated turn. So good. It's so important to have that coordination, smoothness to the tail wheel. Bring it back. There you go.
Okay. Okay, carbine's coming on.
Getting a little slow, so let's just not pull back too much on our base. But don't dive either, so just small corrections. Happy mediums. Let's scooch out the power to 10. Yeah, that's what messed us up that one time. One of those. Perfect. Alright, this looks good. Yep. Alright. Let's break that, start that glide. There it is. And now what do we do? Slowly, 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 slowly. There. Let it sit, let it sit, let it sit, let it sit. See how I matched the... And I know you were with me on that one.
Yeah.
So, did you feel how we matched that sink rate with the pullback?
Totally.
So it's really just like that feel. And that one felt better. Even though we kind of had to fix it,
yeah,
that one felt better than... The last two felt better than the others, right?
Yeah, totally.
Because it wasn't that sink... It's not a plop. It's just a nice...
Yep.
Alright, let's do one more.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get 3 nice landings in a row. Those last two had that good pullback. It'll just end up smoothly like that. Carb heat's off for you.
Thank you.
It's hard to reach. Think about when I'm back there. I have to like get out of my seat. Alright, your coast is clear.
Oh.
There's a bird, but...
Shut up.
Alright, stick back to start.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh.
Very nice. Just corrected that wind, little rudder, little aileron. A very light airplane, so it's gonna feel like a kite.
Yeah.
Turn around that way. And you can almost imagine like your angle right here, right? Like where the airplane needs to be to make that nice transition.
Carby's coming out?
Yep. runway here, because we're getting a lot of sink. Good. You can keep in the power here.
Okay.
Just get yourself lined up. Now scotch out the powers.
Okay.
Scotch by scotch. Nice, 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 nice. You can bring it all the way. And remember, we don't have to land on the end of the runway.
Yep.
So don't dive. I'm more concerned about you seeing that 15 feet, which is like right here. And hold it. Hold it. And gently, gently, gently bring it back. Woo, yes.
Awesome.
Nice job. Nice. Alrighty. How long do I have you for? Was that an hour?
A couple hours, yeah. I think we were gonna try to do 2 today if you wanna like debrief for a minute or...
I'd rather do a little bit more work here.
Okay, cool.
And then debrief.
Okay, cool.
Just cause I think like getting in and out of the airplane is like a waste.
Yeah, totally.
So let's do a little bit more. Let's try.
Cool. Yeah, I told him that I wanted to fly for 2 hours today, so... But just like whenever they're training, like when you start to see it just getting sloppy from being tired, you can call it, you know?
Sure, I will. So one thing, you kind of have a tendency to go in the direction that you're looking. You tend to look out the right a lot. So just like, you know, I don't care where you want to look. Just make sure that you're going in the direction you want to go in, not just because you're looking there.
Okay. On landing or in all phases?
I see it more on takeoff.
Okay.
And I know we have wind going on, so, you know, it might be me seeing that. I might be seeing, like, you trying to make a correction.
Right.
But I just think also on our climb out, like, I can tell that you're looking, like, this way.
Okay.
And I feel, then we start going that way.
Okay.
So just, like I said, pretend you're flying the helicopter, because it kind of handles the same way.
Okay. Final's clear. Are we off?
Let's take off on the pavement.
Okay.
Let's go. Stick back to start. We're getting a little high and our nose is high, so I know you're looking at the runway, but like, let's look where we're going.
Cool.
So, alright, power back, because we never reduced our power. So one thing is just like, I know we're around the airport, but if you just look at where you are over here and where you're going, you'll remember more, because I think you're a little focused on the runway for some reason.
Fleet's coming on.
There you go.
Power.
Perfect. So I want to hear you talking.
Okay, cool.
I'm not going to give you as many hints this time.
Okay.
Because you got this. I know you're thinking about it a lot, so now I want you to stop thinking about it and just like kind of say stuff.
Okay. I'm going to turn my base now. Keep a little power in. Are you laying on the grass?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Level here. Passing. Come back slowly.
Nice. See how nicely that worked out?
Yep.
And we're going to keep that stick back. Once we land, that stick is back.
Okay. Yeah, because that was the tail coming up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then you could get weather vaning with the ground and a ground move, right?
Right, we don't want
feel that tail moving, huh?
That was a good landing.
Cool.
So another thing, once you land, it's not over.
Yep.
That's just the beginning. So like sometimes people land and then they kind of relax, and that's when it starts to go like, wah,
Yeah.
right? It's like you are still flying that airplane until it is stopped and off the runway.
Yep.
So this next landing, I'm gonna remind you to relax.
Yep.
I'm gonna remind you to not relax, sorry. My bad. Relax, but don't relax too much when you land. And then you're gonna see your tracking is gonna be even like better.
Okay, cool. Coverage off. Finals clear.
Yep. Looks clear to me.
Want to do pavement again?
Whatever you want.
I like the grass. Go to the grass.
Okay.
Never get to land on the grass in tricycle gear, huh? Alrighty, sticks back. Lined up for the runway. Ready?
I am. Perfect. keep it like right here.
Okay.
And now maybe start. See, kind of like, do I scroach out? Do I not scroach out? Maybe scroach out a little bit. Stay lined up. Perfect. Nice. Alrighty. So this looks nice. Now, get that level. Smoothly. Wow. Nice, don't relax. Don't relax. Oh, look at that. Look how wonderful that worked out. Don't relax. And don't relax. Keep that stick back. See? And now it's perfect. And you were like totally straight the whole way. Good job. I liked it. The angle out.
Okay.
And now turn. Little brake. Perfect. Let's just do a little scotch here. I'll help.
Yep.
Here.
You want to keep that moving.
There you go. I just didn't want to hit that light.
Yeah.
Let's finish there for now.
Okay.
Because I want you to like remember that landing and those last 3 landings.
Sweet.
So let's put it here, my plane.
You got it.
Shutdown.
Okay. So sequence just
Off.
Yeah.
This is the best shutdown sequence. Off.
Do you fly privately or commercial, like the jets? Do you fly for an airline or?
No, my friend has a citation, so sometimes I'm FO on the citation.
Make sure your belts are inside. Otherwise it'll go on the fabric. Pump the throttle all the way open. Closing. Bracket. Mags are off.
Mags are off.
Brakes stick back. Mags hot.
Put them on both.
Mags are hot.
Gotcha.
Perfect. Alright, let's get that door closed. Do you know how to close it?
I haven't.
Okay, so this fits like this.
Okay, I see.
Then this has like a thing that you pull back, let it back in, closed.
Cool.
Alright, let's get out of these people's way.
Okay.
Alright, bring us over. Everything is clear.
Go to the grass?
Whatever you want. I don't care where you take off as long as you take off straight.
Okay, cool. Let's go to the grass.
Alright.
Alrighty.
Stick back and smoothly.
Alright.
Stick back to start.
Carpeet's coming on. We're taking a runway. We're on the go.
Good angle. Keep it here for a second. You can see the gusts on the water. So they're not too bad. Looking good. Just keep it. Don't dive for it too much. Perfect. Keep it here. Keep it here for a second. Alright, now you can start.
Alright, so level here.
Watch for that 15. 15, break your glide. Good job. Your timing is very good.
Cool.
Don't relax.
Yeah.
You can bring it up. Perfect.
Have you been over to Trinka this trip back yet?
I haven't gone over there this month yet. I just got back like 2 days ago.
Okay.
I'm like traveled out.
Yeah.
So exhausted. I actually just got back from the UAE. I was there for like 3 weeks.
Oh wow, what are you doing there?
Just hanging out with some friends. Actually, I was in Tanzania, and then
Oh wow.
I went to UAE. Alright, let's let them land so we can slow down. They might be landing on pavement, so let's hold short here.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see what's going on with them too. Kind of gauge what their angle. Little bounce there. So, let's go.
Okay.
Your car beats off.
Thank you. And they're in the air.
Let's wait for them to turn crosswind.
Okay.
Okay, you can go.
Okay. Stick back. How we
Stick back to start.
Yeah.
Yep.
That wind, it wants to lift off pretty quick, huh?
Yeah, and that's fine. And then you lift off, you know?
Yep. reads coming on.
Much better power management.
Cool.
It's hard getting the feel. This plane, it feels like it shouldn't sink that fast, but it actually does.
Yeah.
This is good. Just keep it coming in. So, good. Let's break that glide. Ooh. So that one was a little bit funky. I saw you rush to get to the runway.
Okay.
Remember, we don't need to dive for the runway.
Yep. I think I get that feeling when I think we're gonna come up short, but I kind of.
Yeah.
Would you just add a little power there if you think that's the case?
Yeah, I would add a little power and I'd hold it off.
Okay.
I feel like, you're like, okay, let's land, like, let's get it down. And you don't need to do that. Just add a little power. We can literally take off and land like 4 times.
Okay, cool.
So, if that's the case, add some power, be like, okay, hold up.
Yep.
And then we'll hold it, then we'll bring it down for the glide break again, and we'll just kind of do a do-over.
Okay, cool.
As long as approach is okay, as long as we're stable, we can do that.
Okay.
If we're not stable, we'll go around.
Okay.
But if we're coming in stable, then we can practice. But there's no need to rush to land.
Yeah.
That one, I saw you, it just seemed like, we were at the end of the runway, and you were like, okay, I got this.
Yeah. I mean, even on, I was high on short final, and instead of maybe cutting the power.
You know what, you weren't high? It was just that we kind of just dove a little bit too much.
Okay.
Like, we pulled the power and then started to dive.
Okay.
Because it's not the same kind of a flare as a tail wheel, I mean a tricycle gear.
Yeah. Maybe that dive
It was
gave
like
me
some
the
muscle
illusion.
memory coming back, I think.
Okay.
Alright, line up.
Okay. Maybe that steep angle when I started to dive gave me an illusion that I was high, or something weird.
Because we actually didn't break the glide high enough. We were a little too low.
Okay.
Just give them a chance to turn crosswind.
Okay. Gotta be tough. Back.
Yep. Alright, you can go.
Alright. coming up.
Turn base now. And I want you to just manage this purely with your stick.
Okay.
So keep that nose down. Build up a little speed. And up. I'm going to give you a scooch here.
Okay.
Alright. And I'm going to hold it off. Okay?
Yep.
I'll hold it off. There's about 15. See how we didn't need to land at the end of the runway?
Yep.
We landed like quite a bit down that, right?
Yeah.
So, just a little like, let's try and do that. I'm gonna have you do that
Okay.
next time. Let's get our carb heat off.
Carbeat's going on. Yeah, thanks for letting me do that. If you do it every time, I'm never gonna learn it.
Don't worry, I gotcha. I'll help you. Help yourself. Now you're gonna have to kind of fishtail because you got someone in front of you.
Okay.
Go very slowly. Oh, do you see that crazy bird? Okay, he's on the turning on the runway.
Is there an hour minimum for you to instruct tailwheel? Like tailwheel time?
Hourly to instruct in tailwheel? No,
Yeah.
you just need tailwheel endorsement.
Oh, okay, cool. And CFI, obviously. Miles clear. Probably tough.
Alright, we can go.
Alright.
Remember, gentle with corrections. What's our oil temperature?
I'm not sure.
Just wanted to see if you were looking.
What?
I just wanted to see if you were looking. It's about 150.
When did I?
Yeah.
A couple months ago.
Nice.
Alright, Carby's coming up.
Set your base. I would take out your power. But don't push it at the end of the runway. It's all about that angle and feeling the sink. Don't worry about landing at the end of the runway.
Okay.
Now, limber your glide brake. Good. We were a little funky because we didn't have any right stick in for the wind.
Okay.
But still good sync control.
Short field? That was pretty short.
That was pretty short. Well, they got flaps, you know.
Oh yeah.
They can do fancy stuff like that.
Alright, final's clear. Carby's off. Already on the crosswind, so.
Perfect. Nice takeoff. I think ours was just as short as theirs. That was your best takeoff so far. It was very smooth, very straight, good timing. What kind of photography do you do?
Mainly fashion,
Nice.
but I mainly shoot film. I like to develop in the darkroom and print my own.
That's awesome. I used to model like back when I was in shape,
Oh, please.
and I would always be like, wow, like, I don't know how you got me to look so decent. So what you guys do is magic. We just freaked out that bird. He was like, he did one of these. Alright, this looks good. Now I wouldn't bring out your power just yet, and I'd actually give it a little whoop. A little scoocha.
Okay.
Good. And we're not going to rush to the end of the runway. We'll start bringing it down a little bit. Gently. And we're going to look for that 15 feet to break the glide. Whoop. 15 feet right there. Now slowly. Beautiful. See how nice that turned out despite the crazy wind?
Yep.
And we're tracking, and awesome. That was good.
Cool.
That was really good, actually. I know it felt kind of funky on the approach, but it was really nice.
Sweet. Thank you.
I think the glide, I'm having to remind you about the glide a little bit. So, and you might be about to do it anyway, so I just want you to give it like a little bit more priority.
Okay. One.
Let's do one more.
Okay. So if you pump the brake, you might get a little bit more response out of it?
That's what I do.
Okay.
I'm not like a prodigy at turning these things around, but it seems to help. I'd rather use more brake than nose forward pressure when it's like this out, because I don't want to put it on the nose.
Right. Okay, line it up.
You got it. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut on this one.
Okay.
Just, all I want you to think about, like this whole circuit, is that 15-foot glide brake.
Okay.
And that's going to trigger, I think I wrote it down, that's going to trigger you to be like, okay, now I'm feeling that sink and I'm flaring in relation to that rate of sink.
Okay.
Okay?
Carby's coming up. You got it. Thank you.
There you go. Good. I'm glad you remembered. I left it up on that just to see how long it would take. And it's really not a problem with this airplane, but
on a hot day on a short strip, it would be, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I learned to fly to G1000, 172. I'm like, heartbeat. What's this? You gotta remember.
Yeah, I was spoiled also. I flew the R model, which is also fuel injected, so. The helicopters, we have to use carbies, so.
One of my best friends experience as a helicopter pilot.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I want her to become an instructor.
She just got her private so far?
She's a commercial.
Oh wow. It's rare to have to be able to skip that.
Then I can teach her fixed wing and she can teach me helicopter.
Yeah.
I've flown the MD-500 because the A-Star. My friends had those, so I've tried. I've tried to hover. I usually go backwards.
MD-500 is so cool. It's like the coolest looking one.
It's pretty slick.
Alright, carbine's coming on.
Perfect. I would turn it in now.
Okay.
Because we had to add that scotch of power before. So like literally all I want you to think about is that glide brake.
Okay.
Like right now you should be thinking 15 feet, glide brake. And it can be like by the little tree. It doesn't have to be right here.
Okay.
Nice. Gently, gentle. Alright, so I think the glide brake was good, but then we were kind of looking in the wrong place.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know, where were you looking?
Yeah, probably over top if that was the case. Huh?
Over the nose?
Probably.
Okay. So just remember, I know we've been kind of like focusing on other stuff, but it's all about that 9 and 3 picture.
Yeah.
But the glide brake was good, and you did it without me saying it at the right time.
Cool.
So it's been like 45 minutes. Do you want to do one more, or you want to?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay.
So you think with that jerk, when I jerked back, I just lost whatever energy I had, and that's why we just dropped through it, you think?
No, I think that we didn't have a lot of energy, but it was because we held on the glide a little bit too long because you were kind of searching somewhere.
Okay.
Like if we had done the glide and then pulled down, it would have matched up with the sink rate.
Okay.
But I think you said you were looking maybe somewhere.
Probably.
So that's kind of like a time kill, and it's also gonna make you bounce sometimes. Right. But that's fine. We'll just look in the right place.
Okay. Yeah, obviously if you're looking over top, the ground's gonna appear further away than it actually is. Your sight picture, your true
yeah,
sight
it's
picture.
just, and you know, you're not getting that feedback into your subconscious brain that's calculating your height and your rate. You have to make that available to your eyeballs.
Cool.
Alright, let's go because they're about to turn base. Cut Pete's off.
Thank you.
Let's take off on the pavement.
Okay.
Let's go. Stick back to start. Why didn't we come in with full power?
Yeah, I thought it was there. Okay.
Pull our power to like 12. Let's pull our power all the way back. Don't dive for it. We're not trying to make the end of the runway. Here, I'm gonna slip it.
Okay.
Alright, your plane.
Okay.
And I want you to look for that 15. Whoop! Coming down a little fast. So 15. We'll come in with the low power. Now keep doing that. Keep doing that. Rate, your rate. Good job. And your wind correction in your stick. Don't forget that. That was okay. I just want you to not dive for that edge of the runway.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, we're a little bit high anyway. That's why I had to put the slip in. But, we're good. Just, you know, don't dive for it.
Yeah.
Because I really want you to focus on that height.
Okay.
Let's park it over here. I'm gonna... Let's face it into the wind this time without having to push it. Just bring